So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to go through the registration and COMET software setup. We need to do this before we do the COMET training, and it's particularly useful when we do the online software courses to make sure that if you have any problems with this, you can talk to your trainer before the course starts and it'll help the course to go more smoothly. So the first thing that will happen is that you'll get an email from your trainer or from COMET Strategy that gives you the registration details. So here's an email like what you'll get. So this is for COMET Strategy doing the training course, but you'll have your own company here. And then you need to do this prior to the training. So you can click this register here link, or you can copy the link there. So if we click this, so we'll get this page and we'll just go through filling it out. Fill out the division that you're in within your company and exactly what your title is, your email address, and a password. Okay, and then what we can do is we can click submit this registration information. And you'll see what happens is that an email is then sent to your email address, and then go and look for your email for that to arrive. Because the next stage we're going to have to do is to click on a link to activate that account. So your account's been registered, we just need to activate it to make sure that you do have access to the email that you've just typed in there. Okay, so if we look for that email, now the first thing that we need to do here is to activate your email account, and that's all that you need to do is click on that link and you will activate the account. So when you go to the support website, that's at https://support.cometstrategy.com. You can go there directly. We need to type in our email address that we just typed in, our password, and click sign in. Now, what happens when we go to the support site? You can see there's a number of areas here, and I won't take you through those areas today. They will be covered during your training. But what I'd like you to look for is the pre-training setup. Now, this video is actually the guide here, the pre-training video guide, and there's also some training setup files. So if you click on these files here, we're going to download those. So we can just save them to our, downloads area. Okay, now if we go to our downloads folder, you can see there's the training setup files zip file that's been downloaded. If we unzip this, okay, so you see what's been extracted is a folder called Initial COMET Foundation Training Files. So if we go into that, you'll see there's a directory called COMET, and underneath that there's a number of other directories as well. But if I just go back to this directory that's got the COMET folder, now with this file here, what you're going to want to do is to copy this into your C root directory. Grab this folder and copy it into your C root directory. Now, during the training, you'll learn how to put all these files somewhere other than the C root directory. But the folders have been set up for the training to assume that you're working in this directory. So make sure that you do actually put that COMET folder into the C root directory. Okay, now what we'll do is you'll notice there's a number of folders in here. We're going to go to the folder called UI, which stands for User Interface. We're going to open one of these Excel files. It doesn't really matter which one, but if you open the one that ends with start. Now, COMET is going to use a number of macros to keep track of data and to do validation checks and so on. So when you open this file, you'll often get a message up here saying that the macros have been disabled, and do you want to enable the content? So I'm going to enable the content, but there's actually a number of other macro settings that we need to make sure are set up properly. And depending on the security systems for your company, you might have to do these or you might not. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to File and down to Options and look at the Trust Center. If you pick Trust Center Settings, then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the macro settings. So mine's currently set up to say disable all macros with notification. Another option though you're going to need to click is Trust All VBA Project Object Model. Trust access to the VBA project model. So you can also have trusted locations so that you don't have to continually click these options, but I don't have any of those set at the moment. You can also have trusted documents, which I don't have, which I don't use either. So it's really just these macro settings that you need to make sure that you will disable the macros with notification, or enable macros is also an option, but this is slightly more dangerous. So click OK. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to see whether you can actually run the software. So we're going to click the Optimize button. Now what's going to happen here is there's a whole lot of parameters that are stored inside the user interface, inside that Excel sheet. And then it writes out all those parameters, and then it runs the engine, which is going to do the calculations. But when it runs the engine, it checks that you are actually licensed to use COMET. And so it actually comes up with this error message, or this message that says, this computer has not yet been registered to run COMET. And so if you just click OK, you can, it should open up the browser to the page that you need to use. Otherwise, you can copy this link here and take it to your browser and use that. So if we click OK to that, and then what it'll do is open up this page on your computer. This shows the name of your computer, your name, I think the domain, and the hard disk serial number. So if you type your email address in here and then click register, it will again send you an email to confirm that this was actually you registering this computer. So if you go to your email then, now this is the email that we've received after registering the machine. Now we need to activate the machine. So there's a button here that you can click to activate, or there's a link here that you can click to or copy to your browser to activate the machine. So let's just click on that. Okay, so this is validating the machine. So now that machine has been both registered and activated, now you can run the software. So let's go back to our user interface and click Optimize. And what should happen now is that it writes out all the parameters, it's starting to run the cases, and you can see it's identified you and it's started to do the optimization. So that confirms that you have access to the software and you can run it, so that should help the training go a lot more smoothly. But if you do have any questions or any problems with this process, then contact the trainer before you start the training, or contact COMET Strategy, and we will make sure that someone contacts you to sort out whatever the issues are. It's normally not a big trouble to sort these things out, but rather than use up everyone's time during a training course, we'll just do that one-on-one. So enjoy the training. I'm looking forward to hearing more of your optimization of the various resources that are in our care around the world. Thanks very much. See you next time.